Hello and welcome to the science class. My name is Teacher John. I'm going to teach you Science Primary 5, Term 2. And today we shall begin by looking at temperature. What is temperature? Temperature is the degree of hotness or coldness of an object. Temperature is the degree of hotness or coldness of an object. When you talk about the degree, we simply mean how hot or cold something is. To what extent is that object hot, and to what extent is this object cold? That's what we mean by temperature. The degree of hotness or coldness of an object. Then, units for measuring temperature. Temperature is measured in degrees. Temperature is measured in degrees. Then the instrument used to measure temperature is called a thermometer. A thermometer is the instrument used to measure temperature. We have around 5 or 6 types of thermometers. One, we have clinical thermometer, clinical thermometers, 6-inch thermometer, a wall thermometer, maximum thermometer, minimum thermometer. Now, a 6-inch thermometer is also known as a maximum and minimum thermometer. There are two thermometers in one. Maximum and minimum thermometer, also known as 6-inch thermometer. When you're writing the word 6-inch, you have to put apostrophe before S, because this thermometer was discovered by somebody called 6. That's why it's called a 6-inch thermometer. Don't say 6 thermometer. It is called a 6-inch thermometer. Then we have a wall thermometer, maximum thermometer, minimum thermometer. Then how is a 6-inch thermometer important? A 6-inch thermometer is used to measure both maximum and minimum temperature of the day. A 6-inch thermometer measures both maximum and minimum temperature of the day. Or you can say a 6-inch thermometer measures both the highest and the lowest temperature of the day. It measures the highest and the lowest temperature of the day. That one is called a 6-inch thermometer. It measures both highest and the lowest temperature of the day. Then something you need to note is that a 6-inch thermometer is a weather instrument. A 6-inch thermometer is a weather instrument. So it can measure the highest and the lowest temperature of the day. Then number 2, we have what we call a wall thermometer. A wall thermometer measures room temperature. A wall thermometer measures room temperature. These wall thermometers are usually put on walls to measure the temperature of the room where they have been put. That's why they are called wall thermometer. Then we have a maximum thermometer. Maximum thermometer measures the highest temperature. And this maximum thermometer uses mercury. Then we have minimum thermometer. Minimum thermometer measures the lowest temperature of the day, and the minimum thermometer uses alcohol. Then if I may go back to the 6-inch thermometer, a 6-inch thermometer uses both mercury and alcohol. A 6-inch thermometer uses both mercury and alcohol. So it is one thermometer, but one side of the thermometer uses alcohol, another one uses mercury. The side which uses mercury measures the highest temperature of the day. Then the side which uses alcohol measures the lowest temperature of the day. Then we look at a clinical thermometer. A clinical thermometer measures the human body temperature. A clinical thermometer measures the human body temperature. So if you go to the hospital and you take your body temperature, doctors usually use a clinical thermometer. This clinical thermometer is also known as a doctor's thermometer. It's also known as a doctor's thermometer. Then we have places where we find clinical thermometers. Where can we find clinical thermometers? There are so many places we can find clinical thermometers. One, clinical thermometers can be found in clinics, hospitals, dispensaries, and major health centers. Any health center should have a clinical thermometer. Then in schools, especially in the sick bay, a sick bay should have a clinical thermometer. Then we have in vehicles. Then even we can have a clinical thermometer in aeroplanes. So all those are places where we find a clinical thermometer. I've said clinics, hospitals, dispensaries, schools, especially in a sick bay. If you go in a sick bay in schools, you'll always find there a clinical thermometer. It helps the nurse, the school nurse, or the school doctor to measure the human body temperature of the children. Then we have parts of the human body where clinical thermometers are put when measuring the human body temperature. We have places like the mouth under the tongue. Mouth under the tongue. Then we have in the armpits. Clinical thermometer can be put in the armpits. It can also be put in the vagina, especially children, babies. In babies, they can put clinical thermometers in their vagina, especially when they want to measure their body temperature. Then also it can be put in the anus. Also that one applies majorly to babies. Why are clinical thermometers put in these areas? It's because they have warmth. They are warm, so they can easily help to get the right temperature. So you cannot get a clinical thermometer and you put it on the forehead. This forehead does not have enough warmth, and these areas we have mentioned, they cover the bulb. They cover the bulb. If you look at this diagram, we have this part called the bulb. So this bulb is the one which is put under the tongue. They don't put the whole thermometer in the mouth. No. The part that is put is the part which contains mercury, and this part is called bulb. So this bulb can be put in the anus, because if it's put in the anus, the whole bulb is covered. So you find that all these parts of the body that we have mentioned, they cover the bulb. That's why those parts are suitable to be put the clinical thermometer. So you cannot get a clinical thermometer and you put it on the forehead, you put it on the head, you put it in the ears. So all those parts will not cover the bulb. So the major reason why we put the clinical thermometer in these parts that we have mentioned is because these parts cover the bulb. The whole bulb is covered. That's why we put the clinical thermometer in those parts. Then we have two liquids that are used in the clinical thermometer. We have alcohol and mercury. There are some clinical thermometers use alcohol, and there are some which use alcohol. We shall look at reasons why some people prefer using alcohol while others prefer using mercury. Let's look at parts of a clinical thermometer. A clinical thermometer has mercury, and this mercury is found inside the bulb. So this part is called bulb, then mercury is inside the bulb. Then there is the part which is bent. That part is called kink. Kink, and this kink is also known as constriction. The kink is also known as constriction. Then we have the stem, and then lastly we have what we call the bore. The bore, I repeat, we have the bore, we have the stem, we have the kink. The kink is the part which is bent, then the bulb which holds the mercury. So those are parts of a clinical thermometer. Those are parts of a clinical thermometer. So we look at the importance of each part. Importance of each part of a clinical thermometer. Now, we've said a clinical thermometer has what we call the bulb. A clinical thermometer has the bulb. A clinical thermometer has the bulb. Then, it also has a kink, a bore, and lastly, a bulb. Now, we begin with the stem. How is the stem important? How is the stem important? Now, the stem, it protects the inside parts of a clinical thermometer. The stem, it protects the inside parts of a clinical thermometer. It protects the inside parts of a clinical thermometer. Protects the inner parts of a clinical thermometer. It protects the inner parts of a clinical thermometer. Then look at the kink. Number 2, we have what we call kink. This kink is also known as constriction. Constriction. The kink is also known as constriction, and its major function is to prevent the backflow of mercury. To prevent the backflow of mercury. So we shall say it prevents the backflow of mercury. It prevents the backflow of mercury. It prevents the backflow of mercury. So that is how a kink is important. Then we have what called the bore. The bore has a regular scale. A bore has a regular scale. Bore, it has a regular scale. So it has a scale which we use to read. Then the bulb stores mercury. The bulb, it stores mercury. It stores mercury. The bulb stores mercury. So that is how a clinical thermometer is important, and the parts, how they're important. We've said a clinical thermometer is used to measure the human body temperature. A clinical thermometer is used to measure the human body temperature. It is used to measure the human body temperature. Now we have looked at the functions of each part of a clinical thermometer. Next, let's look at reasons why mercury is commonly used in clinical thermometers. Why is mercury commonly used in a clinical thermometer? Why is mercury commonly used in a clinical thermometer? Why is mercury commonly used in a clinical thermometer? So you find that in these clinical thermometers, we commonly use mercury. Why? It's because of the following. One, mercury does not stick on the walls of the thermometer. Mercury does not stick. Mercury does not stick on the walls of the thermometer. mercury does not stick on the walls of the thermometer. Then number two, another reason why mercury is commonly used is that mercury is a good conductor of heat. Mercury is a good conductor of heat. Mercury is a good conductor. Mercury is a good conductor of heat. Mercury is a good conductor of heat. That's why it is commonly used. Then mercury expands uniformly. Mercury expands uniformly or evenly. Mercury expands uniformly. Mercury expands uniformly. Then mercury can easily be seen. Those are the four reasons. Mercury can easily be seen. Mercury can easily be seen. So those are the reasons why mercury is commonly used in a clinical thermometer. Mercury is a good conductor of heat. Mercury does not stick on the walls of the thermometer. Then mercury can easily be seen. Then mercury expands uniformly. Those are the reasons why mercury is commonly used in a clinical thermometer. Then why is alcohol not commonly used? Why is alcohol or water not used in clinical thermometers? Why is alcohol? Why is alcohol not commonly used? Why is alcohol not commonly used? One, alcohol sticks on the walls. Alcohol sticks on the walls of the thermometer. Then number two, alcohol is not easily seen. Alcohol cannot easily be seen. So because alcohol is colorless, it cannot easily be seen. Then alcohol does not expand uniformly. Alcohol does not expand uniformly. Alcohol does not expand uniformly. Then you can also say alcohol does not expand uniformly. Then alcohol is a bad conductor of heat, and so on. So those are some of the reasons why alcohol or water is not commonly used in clinical thermometers. Then why do doctors shake a clinical thermometer before using it on another person? That's a question. Why do doctors shake the clinical thermometer? Why do doctors shake the clinical thermometer before using it on another person. Before using it on another person. So before doctors use a clinical thermometer, they first shake it before they use it on another person. The reason is to draw mercury back to the bulb. Reason is to draw mercury back to the bulb. To draw mercury back to the bulb. That's why they have to shake. Then reasons why a clinical thermometer is sterilized using alcohol, or why should doctors sterilize these thermometers before they use it. So there are two things which doctors must do on a clinical thermometer before they use it on a patient. One is shaking, then two, sterilizing. You can say two things doctors do on clinical thermometers, before using them. So there are two things which doctors must do on clinical thermometers before using them. And one, we said, shaking the clinical thermometer. Shaking the clinical thermometer. Shaking the clinical thermometer. Then to sterilizing. Sterilizing the clinical thermometer. Shaking the clinical thermometer. Now, why do they shake? The reason why they shake is to draw mercury back to the bulb. Why do they sterilize? Sterilization is done to prevent infections. We sterilize to prevent infections. So, question: why do doctors sterilize clinical thermometers? Why do doctors sterilize clinical thermometers? They sterilize clinical thermometers to kill germs and to prevent infections. One, we shall say, to kill germs. Then you can also say to prevent infections. To kill germs and to prevent infections. So when they get a clinical thermometer and they put in somebody's armpits, they cannot get that clinical thermometer from somebody's armpits and they put the same clinical thermometer in another person's armpits. They first sterilize them. So sterilization is done to kill germs and to prevent infections. And how are these clinical thermometers sterilized? How are clinical thermometers sterilized? Clinical thermometers are sterilized using alcohol. NB. Clinical thermometers are sterilized using alcohol. Clinical thermometers are sterilized using alcohol. Clinical thermometers are sterilized using alcohol. Why do we use alcohol? It's because to prevent bursting of the clinical thermometer. Because if you use water, if you boil, boiling bursts or breaks the clinical thermometer. So boiling is not an option. If you boil, the clinical thermometer will burst. So instead we use alcohol. Then we look at the normal body temperature. The normal human body temperature is 37 degrees Celsius or 98 degrees Fahrenheit. The normal human body temperature is 37 degrees Celsius, 37 degrees Celsius, 37 degrees Celsius, or you can say 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. That is the normal human body temperature. So we want to look at changing from degrees Celsius to degrees Fahrenheit. We are going to look at how to change from degrees Celsius to degrees Fahrenheit. Changing from degrees Celsius to degrees Fahrenheit. Changing from degrees Celsius to degrees Fahrenheit. So we are going to use our formulas. We need to learn how to change from degrees Celsius to degrees Fahrenheit. For example, you can say, number 1, change 20 degrees Celsius to degrees Fahrenheit. Change 20 degrees Celsius to degrees Fahrenheit. So if we are changing 20 degrees Celsius to degrees Fahrenheit, which formula are you going to use? We are going to say 9 out of 5 degrees Fahrenheit plus 32 equals degrees Celsius. We are changing 20 degrees Celsius to degrees Fahrenheit. We're going to use this formula: 9 out of 5 degrees Celsius plus 32 equals to degrees Fahrenheit. We put this in two brackets, then we say 9 out of 5. Where there is degrees Celsius, we put 20. Where there is degrees Celsius, we put 20 degrees Celsius times 20 degrees Celsius, put in two brackets, plus 32 equals to degrees Fahrenheit. 5 into 5, 1, 5 into 20, 4. Then here we remain with 9 times the 4 into brackets plus 32 equals to degrees Fahrenheit. 9 times 4 is 36, so you shall get 36 plus 32 equals to degrees Fahrenheit. Then you can come and add 36 plus 32, 2 plus 6 is 8, 3 plus 3 is 6. So the answer will be 68 degrees Fahrenheit. 68 degrees Fahrenheit. As simple as that. Then you say, therefore, 20 degrees Celsius is equal to 68 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's how we change from degrees Celsius to degrees Fahrenheit. We use that formula: 9 out of 5 degrees Celsius plus 32 equals degrees Fahrenheit. That's the formula. Let me give you another example so that you can understand. Now, we can change, we can have another example whereby you can say change 50 degrees Celsius to degrees Fahrenheit. Change 50 degrees Celsius to degrees Fahrenheit. We shall use this formula: 9 out of 5 degrees Celsius plus 32 equals to degrees Fahrenheit. You put this one into brackets. We first work out the brackets. 9 out of 5 times, where there is degrees Celsius, we put 50 degrees. So we put here 50 into brackets plus 32 equals to degrees Fahrenheit. 5 into 5, 1, 5 into 50, 10. Here we shall have 9 times 10 into brackets plus 32 equals to degrees Fahrenheit. 9 times 10 is 90 plus 32 equals to degrees Fahrenheit. So you come here and say 90 plus 32. What is it? 2 plus 0. You get 2. 9 plus 3 is 12. 9 plus 3 is 12. Then your answer will be 122 degrees Fahrenheit. Then you come and say, therefore, 50 degrees Celsius is equal to 122 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's how we convert that one from degrees Celsius to degrees Fahrenheit. from degrees Celsius to degrees Fahrenheit. Let me work out the last one. The last one, we shall say, change 30 degrees Celsius to degrees Fahrenheit. We shall say 9 out of 5 degrees Celsius into brackets plus 32 equals to degrees Fahrenheit. 9 out of 5, where there is degrees Celsius, we put 30 times 30, put into brackets, plus 32 equals to degrees Fahrenheit. 5 here, 1, 5 into 30, 6. So 5 into 5, it is 1. Then 5 into 30, you find that it is 6. So we shall say 9 times 6 into brackets plus 32 equals to degrees Fahrenheit. So that's the formula. That is the formula. Then you come and say 9 times 6, it is 54. 54 plus 32 equals to degrees Fahrenheit. You come here and side work and you say 54 plus 32. 2 plus 4, here you get 6. Then 8 plus 6, 5 plus 3, you get 8. And the answer would be 86 degrees Fahrenheit. Then you say therefore 30 degrees Celsius is equal to 86 degrees Fahrenheit. As simple as that. So that's how we work out the conversion. Now we are going to change vice versa. Changing from degrees Fahrenheit to degrees Celsius. Changing from degrees Fahrenheit to degrees Celsius. What shall we do? This is what we shall do. Here you can say change 68 degrees Celsius, 68 degrees Celsius, 68 degrees Fahrenheit, 68 degrees Fahrenheit to degrees Celsius. So we are changing 68 degrees Fahrenheit to degrees Celsius. So we shall say, we shall use a different formula, which is not this. So we shall say 5 out of 9 degrees Fahrenheit minus 32 equals to degrees Celsius. Then you put the brackets like that. Then here we come and say 5 out of 9 into brackets. Where there is degrees Fahrenheit, we put 68. We put 68 minus 32 equals to degrees Celsius. Then you can have your side work and say 68 minus 32. 6, 2 from 8, you get 6. Then 3 from 6, you get 3. And you get 36. So you come here and say 5 out of 9 times 36 equals to degrees Celsius. 9 into 9, 1. 9 into 36, you get 4. Then here you come and say 5 times 4 is equals to 20. So it will be 20 degrees Fahrenheit. As simple as that. You can even say we can change 122 change 122 degrees Fahrenheit to degrees Celsius. How do we change this? We shall use this formula: 5 out of 9 degrees Fahrenheit minus 32 equals to degrees Celsius. Put your brackets here. Then you say 5 out of 9 times, you first subtract, put your brackets, where there is degrees Fahrenheit, you put 122. So you say 122 minus 32. Then you close your brackets, equals degrees Celsius. Then you come here and use your sidewalk. Use your sidewalk here and say 122 minus 32. 2 minus 2 is 0. Then 3 from 12, we get 9. So it's 90. So you come here and say 5 out of 9 times 90 degrees. 9 here, 1, 9, 2, 90, 10. Then you come and say 5 times 10, and the answer would be 90 degrees. No, the answer would be 50 degrees Celsius. So that's how we convert from degrees Celsius to degrees Fahrenheit. From degrees Celsius to degrees Fahrenheit. Otherwise, thank you so much for being attentive in my lesson. May Almighty God bless you. Those who are without booklets for term 2, please come to school and buy term 2 booklets. They are available and ready. May God bless you.